Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Peter Dubois. First tonight, the Island Nursing Home's Board of Directors held a public meeting at Deer Isle Stonington High School this evening, and it looks like they are still a long way from reopening.
They provided an update on plans to reopen the facility as well as their ongoing fundraising efforts. Now, the board had set a goal to open by July of 2023, but since then, they voted not to reopen until they can raise $1.5 million to offset 3 years of anticipated losses. Tonight, the board asked those who are able to make, quote, significant contributions to help meet that goal.
We really need people's support in order to raise the money to reopen one night. We had a lot of people's support, but we need some of the bigger donors on the island to step forward and make some significant contributions so we can move this forward. We need to raise another $1 million.
So if people make a, say, substantial donation and you finally decide, well, it's going to be a no-go, and I hope that's not the case, will that money be reimbursed back to the donors?
Yes.
Board members say they're also working with the legislature to help close the funding gap. They say they've testified to the Health and Human Services Committee about their need for funding and are optimistic given the state's budget surplus. In the meantime, though, they say it would be irresponsible to reopen and not have sufficient resources, therefore risking another closure.
Maine State Police and the Jay Police Department are investigating an incident that took place on Tuesday. They say shortly before 8 p.m., the Jay Police Department received a report of a robbery at the Label Shopper store in the Jay Plaza. An officer located the vehicle as it was leaving the plaza and attempted a traffic stop, but the suspect vehicle continued driving north on Main Street. Police say the officer pursued that vehicle into North Jay, where it crashed in the area of the Route 1 and Route 4 intersection. The driver of the vehicle was identified as 33-year-old Vanessa Gordon of Livermore Falls, who police say had a revoked license. She sustained life-threatening injuries. The passenger, 38-year-old Joshua Allen of Farmington, suffered serious injuries, and both were transported via life flight to area hospitals. Maine State Police is handling the crash investigation, while Jay Police are handling the robbery incident.
Well, a Maine man who was found guilty of sexually assaulting a 4-year-old had his sentence nearly cut in half. According to the Kennebec Journal, Eric Bard, formerly from Sydney, was sentenced to 50 years in prison back in 2015 for the sexual assault of a 4-year-old. This was back in 2011 and 2012. He had recorded the acts on his cell phone. The conviction was appealed and overturned after a court ruled that Bard had been deprived his full due process rights. Bard and prosecutors agreed to a plea deal and negotiated a sentence of 28 years. That's 22 years less than his original sentence. That instead of facing a new trial. One of the prosecutors told the Journal that the plea deal was intended to keep the victim from having to testify. Bard must register as a sex offender and submit to supervision for the rest of his life. He is now disallowed from having any devices capable of accessing the internet, having any contact with minors, or with the victim.
A Bangor church has filed a suit against Maine officials over a law they claim violates the U.S. Constitution. Our Matthew Duranczyk has more.
Crosspoint Baptist Church is suing Pender Macon, Maine's Commissioner of the Department of Education, Jefferson Ashby, Edward David, Julie Ann O'Brien, Mark Walker, and Thomas Douglas in their official capacities as commissioners of the Maine Human Rights Commission for excluding private religious schools from participating in its tuition reimbursement program after the U.S. Supreme Court lifted a ban on public funding for religious schools last June.
The state passed a new law that puts restrictions in the program that effectively prohibit religious schools like Bangor Christian from teaching from their religious perspective.
In October of 2021, Maine's 129th legislature passed an act to improve consistency in terminology and within the Maine Human Rights Act, which exempts religious schools from observing the Maine Human Rights Act if it violates religious beliefs regarding religion, sexual orientation, and gender identity. In a statement from the Maine Human Rights Commission attorney Barbara Archer Hirsch, she says the organization is, quote, fulfilling its purpose of ensuring the basic human right to life with dignity by preventing discrimination based on the basis of protected class status, end quote. Crosspoint Baptist Church attorney Leah Patterson says she wants the state to allow private religious schools to receive funding just like public schools.
At the end of the day, it is crucial that religious organizations be able to be treated fairly and participate equally in programs that are generally available like this.
We reached out to the Maine Department of Education for a comment, but did not hear back. In Bangor, Matthew Juroncic reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
The legislature's Committee on Veterans and Legal Affairs heard arguments today on whether ranked choice voting should be repealed. At stake is whether voters in Maine should have a second choice when voting at the polls. In the end, LD 1038 was voted down in a 7-1 vote. The Secretary of State's office has always supported ranked choice voting because they say it gives Mainers the ability to vote with their hearts rather than their fears.
We know that it gives voters maximum choice in who they vote for. It certainly brings that element of the ranked choice voting tabulation, which Maine voters saw live streamed last fall. That is additional work for the Office of Secretary of State, but we love that work. We think it's really important that the will of the voters is always reflected in our elections.
Secretary Bellows says she was happy to see that the committee vote reflected what Maine people want, saying that people rank things every day to make their choices.
The Office of the Maine Attorney General is suing several manufacturers for knowingly making products containing dangerous PFAS chemicals. Attorney General Aaron Fry announcing Wednesday that his office has filed 2 lawsuits against DuPont, 3M, and others. Those suits allege that the manufacturers knew about the science behind PFAS, otherwise known as forever chemicals, but concealed the information in pursuit of profit. According to this office, the lawsuits will seek to recover all costs to investigate, clean up, restore, treat, monitor, and otherwise respond to the contamination of Maine's natural resources. The 2 actions were filed with the Superior Court in Cumberland County. According to the AG's office, Governor Mills has voiced her support for both of those lawsuits.
And a bill has been presented that would close a loophole that has prevented the state of Maine from providing health care to many of the state workers hired before 1986. On Tuesday, March 28th, Senator Craig Hickman of Winthrop presented LD 591 to the Joint Standing Committee on Labor and Housing. Hickman says many of those who worked for the state prior to 1986 have been paying for health care for far too long, and it's now time to make good on the state's promise.
It's overdue. I think that, the constituents that brought this to my attention have been trying to get this resolved for the last 2 decades in one form or another.
According to Hickman, the biggest obstacle that stands in the way of the bill is collecting all the data necessary to make sure that all Maine state workers who were hired before the cutoff are serviced. Now, if you think you may be affected, call Hickman's office at 207-287-1515, or you can email craig.hickman@legislature.maine.gov.
And Old Town Factory is once again closing up shop. Our David Ledford spoke with members of the city about the shutdown.
It's a hard pill to swallow.
Old Town's pulp mill is set to close for an extended period starting next month. This closure follows the 2019 reopening of the mill by the current owner, Nine Dragons Paper Limited, based in China. Old Town City Manager Bill Mayo confirmed the town was told about the closure by the company, but declined to comment further. Some town residents expressed not only concern, but frustration.
There's been so much hope, for the mill to succeed. A lot of these people have been here for a long time, yo-yoed back and forth when mill closes and it opens and whatnot. We were really hoping this time that it would be a success.
An ND Paper spokesperson says the mill is taking extended downtime, citing current market conditions and the rising cost of fiber and energy as the cause. A resident of the nearby Penobscot Indian Island Reservation says that she's concerned about what the closure could lead to in the future.
I remember back in high school, a lot of friends' parents worked there. I had a friend that was in my class that they had to move away. They moved out of town because of the closure. And I feel like that is going to put a lot of other families at risk.
Employees of local businesses say they fear that the shutdown may impact the town's revenue.
There's new local businesses around for lunches and dinners and things like that, so there's more people in and out of our town. I think possibly it is a possibility for it to affect some of our businesses. that are starting to finally grow. We were just starting to build up a little bit better around here, so I hope not.
An ND Paper spokesperson says the company will continue to evaluate market conditions for a potential restart of the mill. In Old Town, David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
It's always so challenging when you have, a large community business like that,
Right.
fall into jeopardy. It really worries a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. And, here's hoping that they find some kind of resolution that doesn't put the community in jeopardy.
Yeah, and hearing from community members about the last shutdown, they remember the repercussions of that.
The first time, yeah. All that back and forth, very stressful for them.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, well, less stressful, fortunately, has been the weather.
Yeah.
Today was just, you could package today and just make that my everyday and I'd be a happy camper.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
if that's what, the entirety of spring looked like, I think we'd all be pretty
We
happy.
would all be pretty jazzed.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get a first check of our forecast and at least see what the next few hours are looking like.
Hey, Beth, thank you. Happy Wednesday. Your first weather is brought to you by Scott's Recreation Offices in Turner, Manchester, Herman, and Orono. And all right, so for us, here we go. Temperatures in the 40s today, but they're falling back now, and there is precipitation back in the area. We had lots of sunshine earlier. That, of course, is now gone, and there is some rain and some snow just to the west of us currently. This will swing through tonight and bring us a dusting or so of snow and some light rain showers out there. Not a big deal, but a bigger deal gets in here over the weekend with more rainfall on the way, especially Saturday. Our forecast time for tonight, though, is cloudy skies, some rain and snow out there, nothing heavy with low temperatures in the 30s. Your full forecast is coming up. Beth?
Alrighty, Jeff, thanks so much.
Yeah, so a light dusting, nothing we can't handle.
Indeed. Well, still to come on Fox 22 News at 10. The city of Ellsworth takes a step towards better service for emergencies. We'll tell you how and why.
And we'll take you to Augusta, where the State House hosted a ceremony for Vietnam veterans. Those stories and more coming up.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Yeah.
Sick.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, you could save up to $1,400 with affordable 3.99% financing on a luxurious Highlander. And every Highlander comes with 2 years no-cost maintenance and more.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota. Let's go places.
Comfort Shoes and More will make winter easier. Next Grip men's and ladies' boots feature cutting-edge technology to make walkways a breeze. Corkers are made with interchangeable soles to conquer the roughest winter conditions. Navitec with the flip it and clip it spikes make you confident no matter what the conditions are. Bruce McDonald's trained podorthist will make sure the fit is perfect for you. See why thousands of people have trusted Comfort Shoes and More for all of their footwear. Take the drive today to Comfort Shoes and More in Newport.
If you're eligible for Medicare and Medicaid, a Medicare Advantage plan from Anthem Maine Health can come with all the benefits you want and zero compromises. Just go to anthemainehealth.com/answers or call 855-753-3928 for a one-on-one Medicare plan review. Ask about our $0 monthly premium plans that include dental, vision, and hearing coverage, along with transportation, a free gym membership, and $0 copay for prescriptions, all for zero extra cost. Plus, you could be eligible for extra benefits to help you save even more. We have plans with up to $2,500 a year to help you pay for over-the-counter health items, groceries, and living expenses like cell phone, electric, or water bills, all on a single prepaid MasterCard you can use at thousands of locations nationwide. Call Anthem Maine Health at 855-753-3928 or visit anthemmainehealth.com/answers and get a Medicare Advantage plan with zero compromises for you and your wallet.
Hammond Lumber is the country's largest stocking dealer of Shoremaster products. You don't have to wait to get the dock system you want when you choose Shoremaster from Hammond Lumber Company.
Coming up on Good Morning Maine, we'll hear from the local community regarding their thoughts on the possibility of a 4-day work week. Plus, all the latest details about the reported temporary extended shutdown of the Old Town paper mill. These stories plus your pet of the week coming up on Good Morning Maine.
Welcome back. A bill is being introduced to the legislature that would help improve behavioral health support in Maine's public schools. Representative Lydia Crafts of Newcastle introduced LD 829. The bill would establish a pilot program to give school staff research-based training and mentorship to better support youth that are engaging in challenging and disruptive behavior in school. It would also improve the student-to-school counselor ratio in K-8 public schools. Crafts, who is also a licensed social worker, said, quote, "There is no more direct way to connect children with mental health and behavioral health support than offering access in the public school setting. Reducing barriers to support is critical amidst the current mental health crisis," end quote.
The University of Maine just got a big boost from the National Institutes of Health, the NIH honoring the school with a Center of Biomedical Research Excellence, or COBRE Award. That's worth $11.3 million, which will support biomedical research. Specifically, the COBRE Award will focus on research about the mechanisms that regulate cellular behavior in response to cues from outside the cells, from the impact of persistent viral infections to muscle cell development. Now, the research has the potential to inform future treatment of infectious diseases, neuromuscular disorders, and muscle aging and regeneration. This is the first COBRE Award given to UMaine. Clarissa Henry, who's pictured below, a professor and director of the Graduate School of Biomedical Science and Engineering at UMaine, said, quote, "This award will transform the landscape of biomedical research at the University of Maine and foster innovation in the life sciences statewide," end quote.
Definitely exciting news there. Well, the city of Ellsworth is taking steps to reduce wait times for emergency medical transport by purchasing its own ambulance. They currently contract with Northern Light Medical Transport for their 911 emergency services and also sometimes rely on mutual aid. They found that their firefighters were being asked to remain on scene while they waited extended periods of time for those transport services to arrive. They decided to buy an ambulance for the city in order to be able to immediately transport those in need of emergency services.
911 EMS calls within the city, our ambulance would respond. And if Northern Light is able to respond, then the primary focus would be for them to do the transport. In the event that they're unable to respond and they're forced to call out for mutual aid to other ambulance services around our county, the preference at that point would be, rather than wait for one of those ambulances to respond, for us to just do the transport ourselves.
Mosier says due to wait times for new ambulances, the decision was made to purchase a used ambulance instead that cost roughly $205,000. And then they further anticipate another $70,000 in cost to properly outfit that vehicle. It'll be at least a couple of months before the new ambulance will go into service. Northern Light will also continue to provide ambulance services to Ellsworth as well.
Well, today the State House held a ceremony to honor Maine's Vietnam War veterans. Devin Dagnall was there and shares more.
America changed a great deal during Vietnam, and those of us who were absent for the change saw the difference.
March 29th, 2023 marks the 50th anniversary of the last U.S. combat troops departing from Vietnam. To mark the day and honor the soldiers it remembers, a ceremony was held at the State House. The ceremony included speeches from Governor Janet Mills, Major General Douglas Farnham, and Vietnam veteran Peter Mills.
It's important to recognize the sacrifices of Vietnam era and Vietnam War veterans. Everyone knows, I think, that they weren't properly recognized when they returned from service, and it was a controversial war.
During his speech, Peter Mills talked about how it felt to return home after the war.
Many of us are old enough to remember what it was like for our fathers to come back from World War II. And I remember all of the parades that we would have. And we all thought, when we all went to Vietnam, we thought, oh, we'll come home and it'll be a big deal. Well, it wasn't quite such a big deal. The war was not popular.
The ceremony concluded with taps and a wreath laying in front of the Vietnam War Veterans Memorial within the State House. In Augusta, Devin Dagnall, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, coming up on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22, we'll have the latest information coming out of the horrific shooting at that Nashville school.
And in the wake of that shooting, Congress debating gun control will hear from key legislators. Stay tuned for those stories and more as the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22 continues.
Sure, the driveway looks good now with the snow on it, but you know what will still be under there in the spring? The same cracks, crumbles, and potholes that were there before winter. Call Eaton Paving today. Let's make an appointment to fix those problems when the weather is ready. Eaton Paving and Excavation.
It wasn't just a little bit of soot on an old family photo. It wasn't just a couple of books soaked in water. And when you called Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration, you were not just another customer. That family photo hangs high yet again, and those irreplaceable first editions stay cemented in history. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest. Statewide commercial and residential services. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration.
We've got your back, road warriors, because we know you're picking up the pace. Steering life at 10 and 2. You're hitting the road. And we're helping you get there with confidence. So skip the counter without missing a beat. Choose any car in the aisle and be the boss of you. Go national. Go like a pro.
Elio, you need to put 2 fingers like this and like this.
I can handle that. Come into Jordan's, and if any Sox player hits for the cycle starting July 31st, you get it all free.
Perfect.
Experience the cycle at Jordan's.
Hey, it's Eric from Green Bear 420. We've been in business since 2010 and going strong, so stop in and check us out. We specialize in glass art by over 100 local artists and even have live glass blowing. Plus, we carry incense, novelties, t-shirts, and hard-to-find items. We have tons of local products for the tie-dye wearing person in your circle of friends. Come see us at 531 Moosehead Trail in Newport. And remember, Green Bear 420, it's not just a store, it's a lifestyle.
The team competition is now over. TV's #1 unscripted show changes the game.
No more good vibes.
With a shocking elimination.
Oh my gosh.
I am devastated. All new Next Level Chef, Thursday at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
Sure, the driveway looks good now with the snow on it, but you know what will still be under there in the spring? The same cracks, crumbles, and potholes that were there before winter. Call Eaton Paving today. Let's make an appointment to fix those problems when the weather is ready. Eaton Paving and Excavation.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
First Lady Dr. Jill Biden joined mourners at a candlelight vigil honoring those killed at a private Christian elementary school in Nashville. Fox's Anna Eliopoulos has the story.
The city of Nashville coming together Wednesday night for a candlelight vigil honoring the 6 people killed in Monday's mass shooting at the Covenant School, a private Christian elementary school. Among the mourners, musician Sheryl Crow and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden. Mrs. Biden stood side by side with city leaders in prayer.
United by grief, mourning together, but knowing that we can make it through.
3 9-year-olds, Evelyn Dickhouse, Haley Scruggs, and William Kinney, and 3 adult school staff members, Cynthia Peak, Catherine Kuntz, and Mike Hill, were killed when a 28-year-old opened fire inside the school. The shooter was shot dead by responding officers some 14 minutes after gunfire first started. The quick response was praised during the vigil.
Rushing towards danger to save lives. On our darkest day, your courage shone through. Your service inspires all of us. You are our heroes.
Also taking part in the memorial was the family of 61-year-old Mike Hill. The father of 7, known as Big Mike by some, was a custodian at the school.
Mike was a beloved member of the Covenant and Nashville communities, and we grieve with you.
As part of the vigil, City Mayor John Cooper called on the community to continue supporting one another. Meanwhile, a motive for the shooting is still under investigation. Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
And in the wake of that school shooting, the White House and congressional Democrats are making the issue of gun violence a central focus this week. They're urging their Republican colleagues to join them in making legislative changes. Fox's Caroline Shively takes a closer look from Washington.
give us a vote on the assault weapons. Give us a vote on background checks. Bring it to the floor.
On the steps of the U.S. Capitol, House Democrats came together to make an urgent plea to their Republican colleagues for action on gun control legislation. Days after the deadly Tennessee school shooting, the tragedy is still weighing heavily on lawmakers.
There is no excuse to allow our streets to be flooded with weapons of war.
How best to respond to school shootings is splitting lawmakers down party lines, with Democrats often calling for bans on assault weapons and Republicans arguing more resources are needed for mental health and school security.
I think with respect to any discussion of legislation, it's premature. There's an ongoing investigation, and I think we need to let the facts come out.
Last year, after the school shooting in Uvalde, Texas, Congress passed its first major gun legislation since 1994. The measure strengthened background checks and incentivized states to pass red flag laws. But moving beyond those measures may be difficult in a divided Congress.
When we start talking about bans or challenging on the Second Amendment, I think the things that have already been done have gone about as far as we're going to with gun control.
For his part, President Biden says there's not much he can do from the executive branch, that it's up to Congress to enact any sweeping changes. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News. Meanwhile, big moves are being made in the energy sector, namely by China, as we watch new alliances form. It's a global game of diplomatic chess, and Saudi Arabia seems to be at the center. Fox's Greg Palcott reports.
More signs the U.S. is losing ground to China in the Mideast, involving key ally Saudi Arabia. Breaking ground in northeast China, a huge project involving Saudi Arabian and Chinese firms, one of several energy joint ventures recently announced. Chinese state TV this week praising closer relations between Saudi Arabia and China, including Saudi Arabia's decision to join the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, a grouping of Asian nations led by China and Russia. And Chinese President Xi Jinping noted in a call yesterday with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman the China-mediated peace deal between Saudi Arabia and Iran.
China certainly sees the geopolitical advantage here, and they're playing that hand as strongly as they can.
It's not for lack of trying by the White House. After criticizing ties between former President Trump and the Saudis amid human rights issues surrounding MBS, President Biden had his own fist bump with the Saudi strongman last July, trying to get the country to step up oil production, to keep prices low and hurt Russia invading Ukraine. The Saudis reneged.
The Saudis and other Arab nations are frustrated with U.S. leadership. They look at us and they think we're unreliable.
Still, connections between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia are decades long. Some see Riyadh's Beijing moves as a wake-up call for the U.S. to stay engaged in the region.
And it could be that Saudi Arabia is trying to play all sides. More energy joint ventures with China could keep another eager and growing oil supplier to Beijing, Russia, in check. A global chessboard. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is warning that unless his nation wins a drawn-out battle in a key eastern city, Russia could begin building international support for a deal that could require Ukraine to make unacceptable compromises. Fox's Alex Hogan takes a look now at how Ukraine's partners are trying to help it produce battle-ready soldiers.
The United Kingdom's Challenger 2 tanks arriving in Ukraine while back on British soil. A major mission is underway to mobilize new Ukrainian troops.
Faster, faster, faster! It's 5 weeks that they arrive having no skills at all.
While the U.S. trains Ukrainians on American weapon systems, this operation is supported by 9 other countries like Canada, New Zealand, and Australia, among others, preparing Ukrainians by the thousands for battle.
Part of this program is teaching Ukrainian soldiers how to survive in the trenches and also how to adapt psychologically, given how few of them have previous military training.
It was all a question of how to shift my thinking from the mindset of my artistic civilian life to that of a combat military life.
Serhiy was an artist. He swapped a paintbrush for an assault rifle. Ukrainian leaders who've been on the front lines help adapt the course to the latest war challenges. Right now, they say that's trench warfare for current battles like in Bakhmut.
We're not taught this in Ukraine, so getting this knowledge is very useful.
Linguists translate non-stop daily drills, teaching target shooting, medical aid, NATO's standards of armed conflict, and operating armored vehicles or drones.
Every 2 to 3 days, another 200 Ukrainian soldiers arrive here in the UK, and then it is an intense 35 days of training. This program so far has trained about 14,000 Ukrainian troops.
Their morale, determination, motivation is enormous.
British forces tell Fox that too many Ukrainians were killing each other without adequate information on how to handle weapons. The key goal is to increase survivability for those heading to the front lines. In London, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, the FDA has approved the first over-the-counter Narcan product.
And in sports, Maine baseball's bats were on fire in their series against St. Joe's last weekend. How the bug goes beyond the batter's box. That story after the break.
They're relentless! They're starting to feel extremely targeted!
That one really likes you! Animal Control, this Thursday on Fox.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are paramount.
When you stay at a Verbo, you always get the whole home. Not part of it, but the whole upstairs, the whole downstairs, the whole fridge, and the whole secret nap room. Because is it really a vacation home if you have to share the house with the host? Only with Verbo.
Jerry's Used Cars has been a family-owned business for more than 30 years, currently in Corinna and Vesey. However, we have changed a little as we are no longer just a buy here, pay here dealership. We now have access to outside financing and also carry utility trailers. We would be happy to assist you with your next vehicle purchase. And don't forget, here at Jerry's Used Cars, we offer an extended warranty. So give us a call at either our Corinna or Vesey location.
General Rental Center has been serving Central Maine with equipment and tool rentals for more than 30 years. Our extensive inventory contains everything you need to get the job done right. Our professional, knowledgeable staff is here to make sure that you get the highest quality rental items to complete your project and that they have been serviced and maintained to the highest standards. Power brooms to get that sand off the lawn, leaf blowers, brush chippers, stump grinders, aerial lifts, tillers, and excavators. We rent most everything. If you don't see it in our online catalog, please ask for it. If we don't have the item you need, we would be happy to help you find it.
Come try one of our daily specials at Pat's Pizza in Hamden.
Tuesday, spaghetti or ziti with meatballs or sausage, only $5.50.
Wednesday, large one-topping pizza, only $8.50.
Thursday, get an oven-baked wrap for only $6.
Friday is fish and fries for only $8.
And Saturday, get a small one-item pizza with a fountain soda, only $8.
Bring the family to Pat's Pizza, 662 Main Road, North Hamden. Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are paramount.
Former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz on Capitol Hill Wednesday to face tough questions from lawmakers on the company's alleged anti-union efforts. Fox's Rich Edson has that story.
Over the past 18 months, Starbucks has waged the most aggressive and illegal union-busting campaign in the modern history of our country.
Senator Bernie Sanders accusing former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz of illegally thwarting employee efforts to form a union. Since late 2021, workers at nearly 300 Starbucks stores have voted to unionize. The labor group behind the effort has yet to reach a contract with any of those stores. Sanders claims Schultz led a campaign to fire unionized workers and illegally close unionized stores.
That Starbucks broke the law 130 times across 6 states since workers began organizing in the fall of 2021.
Schultz vigorously denied breaking any federal labor laws and insisted Starbucks is willing to bargain with unionized employees. He says unions are important in American business, though maintains Starbucks has treated its employees well without one.
We do nothing that is nefarious. We put our people first. We make decisions based on our people. And we have the track record to prove it.
Several Republicans on the committee say the National Labor Relations Board was pursuing a political agenda to boost unions. Some Republicans ripped the Democratic majority for even holding the hearing.
But I don't want to be part of any witch hunt that vilifies any American business. So count me out.
I think that this committee process was biased going in.
Schultz founded Starbucks and led it for more than 20 years across 3 different periods. He stepped down as interim CEO last week. In Washington, Rich Edson, Fox News.
Well, a recent major step in the fight against opioid deaths. The Food and Drug Administration approved the first Narcan product for use without a prescription. The agency hopes increased availability will decrease America's overdose death toll. Fox's Casey Stiegel has more.
I knew that he was gone.
Tens of thousands of Americans die from fentanyl poisoning each year. The number of teens falling victim to the deadly drug also growing at a record pace. In 2021, fentanyl was involved in an astonishing 77% of adolescent overdose deaths, according to the CDC. That leaves heartbroken families searching for answers, like Janelle Rodriguez, who lost her 15-year-old son Noah after he took a counterfeit pill.
They gave him 2 Narcan injections and he just didn't respond to it. It needs to be in every household.
Taking new steps to combat this growing epidemic, the Food and Drug Administration on Wednesday approved over-the-counter sales of Narcan nasal spray, making the potentially life-saving medication used to reverse opioid overdoses easier to access. Until now, the nasal spray was only available with a prescription. And soon, the 4-milligram doses will be on shelves at drugstores, grocery stores, and gas stations, as well as online. Community advocates believe any prevention efforts are critical in helping stop this silent killer.
It's important to have prevention efforts, but also important to recognize that this is a thing that's in our community and we need to have the tools to keep people safe.
How much it'll cost will be up to drug makers, with Narcan nasal spray likely available over the counter by late summer. That's the latest from Dallas. Casey Stiegel, Fox News.
Well, Hawaii authorities on Tuesday say they have referred 33 people to U.S. law enforcement after a group allegedly harassed a pod of wild dolphins in the waters off the Big Island. The State Department of Land and Natural Resources said in a news release that its enforcement officers came upon the 33 swimmers in a bay on Sunday during a routine patrol. Aerial footage shot by drone shows snorkelers following dolphins as they swim away. The department said its video and photos showed swimmers, quote, who appear to be aggressively pursuing, corralling, and harassing the pod. Enforcement officers contacted the group while they were in the water and told them about the violation. Uniformed officers met the swimmers on land, where state and federal officials launched a joint investigation. It's against federal law to swim within 50 yards of spinner dolphins in Hawaii's nearshore waters. The prohibition went into effect in 2021 amid concerns that so many tourists were swimming with the dolphins that the nocturnal animals weren't getting the rest they needed to be able to forage for food at night. Just that angers me.
Definitely,
leave them alone.
A concerning story there.
Yeah.
It's a good principle to go by, just to not mess with wildlife. I think in general, but yeah, always better to be considerate of our friends out in Mother Nature. I think.
Well, and the thing is too is we may not know the full extent to which that kind of stress can affect marine animals. So it's just so important to be respectful. It's just very disappointing to see.
I agree with you there.
Alrighty, well, Jeff Weller is coming back with our full 5-day. Stay with us.
High temperatures back in the mid-40s today. That felt good with some sunshine, but now the clouds have returned and there's some light rain and some snow showers out there into tomorrow morning. More on that when I come back.
Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota LO1 series is rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Powerful Kubota diesel engine, ease of operation, and your choice of a dependable Kubota gear or HST transmission. the durable Kubota LO1 Series tractor. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo.
Available at Doors Equipment, 1468 Outer Hammond Street, Bangor.
Did you know, unless you treat dandruff regularly, it will keep coming back? Try Head & Shoulders shampoo. Dandruff is caused by irritation to a germ that lives on everyone's scalp. Unlike regular shampoo, Head & Shoulders contains zinc pyrithione, which fights the dandruff-causing germ and helps prevent it from coming back. It's gentle on hair and provides up to 100% dandruff protection, clinically proven. Try Head & Shoulders shampoo and conditioner. For best results, use with every wash. This has been Medifax for Head & Shoulders.
Take your taste buds on a journey and experience the brand new international menu Tuesday through Thursday only at the Lucerne Inn and Ryan's Pub. Every Tuesday, enjoy their delicious French cuisine. On Wednesdays, enjoy their memorable Italian delicacies. And every Thursday, be ready for a fiesta with their Mexican favorites. A full 5-course dinner for just $29.95 per person. And don't forget about their all-you-can-eat seafood Fridays. The Lucerne Inn. Beautiful dining with a delicious view.
For the final time, Cody Rhodes goes face-to-face with the undisputed champion Roman Reigns. An all-new Friday Night SmackDown, live at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox.
Here we go. Your full weather is brought to you by Diversified Ink Tattoo Studio in Penobscot Plaza in Bangor. And we are talking about temperatures today hanging out in the 40s. And now some rain and snow showers entering the picture. Nothing heavy tonight, but there will be a quick moving band of some rain and snow as the clouds have increased out there now. And we have a precipitation not too far away from us to the west. Here it comes right now. There. That's moving our direction for tonight. Again, not a big deal. Maybe an inch or two of snow north and west of the Bangor area. The rest of us just some light flurry action, some light snow, and some drizzle out there tonight. But that's not really the main event. The main event's over here to the west of us. There is a lot going on here. It's making national news, bringing feet of snow, of course, to the mountains and parts of California. That's the energy coming our way for the weekend. So we have more weather on the way, a very active weather pattern out there right now. So let's walk you through. So here we are tonight into early parts of tomorrow morning. Here's 4 a.m. tomorrow, looking at a rain kind of snow mix across the area. Notice there's no real dark color blues in here. We're looking at mostly light precipitation, but still there could be an inch or two north and west of the Bangor area. That quickly gets out of here. In fact, a very nice day across our region for tomorrow. Here's tomorrow evening, lots of clear skies out there. Then by Friday morning, we have increasing clouds again. We're cloudy by noon. And then late in the day, here comes our next system. Notice the darker colors with this one. So yeah, on Friday evening, we have rain and snow entering the picture once again. Rain, coastal areas, snow further inland, and then beyond that, we're going to keep that around for us for several hours Friday night into Saturday. In fact, heavy rain, locally heavy rainfall possible on Saturday into Sunday morning. I know, a very active weather pattern, right? And that gets out of here, though, later on Sunday, but overall damage will be done as a healthy rainfall is on the way. And then a nice day for us on a Sunday night and a Monday, and a very nice probably Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, so going forward, if it's all rainfall, it looks something like this. We're talking a widespread soaking rainfall. However, there will be some snow in here, not for everybody, but for a few of us, especially north and west of the Bangor area tonight into early parts of tomorrow morning. And then again on Saturday initially, and then mostly rain Saturday afternoon. That'll melt all the snow. And there is still a very hefty snowpack in place across our region. So, down to 0 here in Bangor, but just north and west of us, we're talking feet of snow on the ground. If you melt that too quickly, you get issues, and that could be an issue this weekend with that potentially heavy rainfall on the way. Today, though, not so much. Temperatures in the 40s today, a bit cooler than it was yesterday, but tomorrow is going to be a bit cooler behind that. As the really cold stuff is still staying there, really warm stuff is staying here, we're in a good, happy spot in the middle. Our forecast then for tonight, though, some light snow and flurries out there, some drizzle too, low temperatures down near 27 for tomorrow. All right, so morning flurries followed by afternoon, just kind of cooler temperatures, highs back in the mid to upper 30s across the area tomorrow, but a really gusty northwest wind that could gust near 40, making a feel colder. And then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows that flurries tomorrow morning, a break in the action Friday, rain Saturday, or mostly rain Saturday, the high of 51, followed by cooler temperatures on Sunday. Beth?
All righty, Jeff. Thanks so much. A little bit of up and down coming our way.
Yeah, absolutely. Living
Alrighty.
like that. And sports is coming up next with Tyler Cruz. Stay with us for that.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Nice.
Sweet.
Go big or go home.
What'd you say?
What's up?
Right now, you could save up to $1,100 with affordable 3.99% financing on most four-wheel drive Tacoma models. And every Tacoma comes with 2 years no-cost maintenance and more.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
We're lucky to live in Maine. We have a wealth of natural resources, hardworking people, and time for the things that matter. Mechanical Services is all about Maine, with energy efficiency that protects our environment and helps businesses grow. Preventive maintenance and energy solutions that save money. How Maine is that? Mechanical Services. We're everywhere you are in Maine.
When it comes to winter footwear, warmth, waterproof, and safety matter most. Take the drive today to Comfort Shoes and More in Newport and discover the latest in winter boot technology. We've got boots rated from -60 to 0 degrees Fahrenheit to keep your feet warm in any weather. Check out the new materials guaranteed to keep your feet dry. Relieve the anxiety of slipping and falling this winter with the new Navitech with grippers built right into the sole. Just flip it and clip it and you're ready to go. Be prepared this winter. Take the drive today to Comfort Shoes and More in Newport.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Herman Motor Company. Whether you're looking for a new vehicle or to have your current vehicle serviced or detailed, Herman Motor Company has it all.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. We will start on the diamond with Maine baseball, whose bats were on fire in last weekend's series win against St. Joe's. They are back in America East play this weekend, hoping to carry that momentum beyond the box and into that home opening series. Ryan Sudol has the story.
We're just taking it at bat by at bat, sticking to our approach and really just doing damage.
That's certainly one way to put it. In Maine baseball's 2 wins against St. Joe's on Saturday and Sunday, the Black Bears put up a combined 32 runs and 7 homers.
We were laughing, dancing, everybody's jumping and smiling. It's a great atmosphere. When we're playing, having fun, and everything's clicking, you can't beat it.
And with 9 different players driving in runs, the team says this weekend showed how the domino effect at the plate is a very real thing.
I'm a big believer that hitting's contagious, and I think this weekend kind of proved it. Once we get going, it's kind of hard to stop our offense.
Much easier to hit when everybody's hitting. You know, when everybody's hitting, you don't want to be that guy that makes the only out.
And that bug goes way beyond the bats.
Oh my goodness, everything's contagious. When your offense goes out and hits, it feeds over into your defense. This game is about momentum. It really is.
That momentum did have some trouble making its way to the bullpen, though. The Black Bears gave up 28 runs in their wins, but their tenacity on the mound was undeniable.
No matter what's happening, the next guy that shows up, they're not pitching scared. They're on the mound, they're competing, they're getting after it. And when you have a staff that's not afraid to fail, there's something dangerous about that.
And the Black Bears face a dangerous opponent for this weekend's home opening series, UMass Lowell, who played a hand in eliminating them from last year's America East tournament.
Just thinking back from even last year, they've always been a tough opponent, a threat. Their pitching, their offense, they got a lot of good guys on our offense, so we're going to have to bring our A games and be ready to go.
We're going to go out and compete and play our game, and if that happens, we'll take 3.
What's it going to be like to be here finally to play in the Mahady Diamond?
It's cold, but I'm excited.
In Orono, I'm Ryan Sudol, ABC 7, Fox 22 Sports.
Thanks for that, Ryan. Let's stay on the diamond in Orono. On Friday morning at 11:30, the University of Maine will cut the ribbon on their brand new softball facility officially open Kesak Field for business. The field comes with artificial turf and new dugouts, among plenty of other things. It's the first facility to be opened and part of the university's facilities master plan. Prior to this, softball wouldn't have home games until much later in the season because of those field conditions. Last year, just 7 of their 45 games were played in Orono. Coach Jordan Fitzpatrick and the players are very excited to get out on that new diamond.
I mean, I'm super excited. I'm happy with a lot of the things that have happened, in the process of planning it, and just seeing it all come to life has been crazy to me.
We are on the road a lot, and we get some more home games at home, and to be outside is awesome. And to be able to play on turf and finally get to do that like other teams do is very exciting. We really feel like we're being taken seriously. We are Division I athletes, and we're working really hard here at UMaine, and to see that pay off in the end is really nice.
All right, staying on that subject, softball's home opener was scheduled for this Saturday, April 1st, but with the impending rain, there have been some schedule changes to the weekend. Instead of opening up their home schedule with a doubleheader Saturday, those 2 games will now be played Friday evening, starting at 2:30, Game 2 at 5 p.m. And then the final game of the series with Albany is tentatively scheduled for Saturday at noon. A decision will be made there before the weekend. All right, heading to the basketball court now. The Maine Celtics played their first home playoff game in 6 years earlier on Wednesday. The Celts hosting the Cleveland Charge at the Expo, with the winner moving on to play Long Island in round 2. Tale of 2 halves. First quarter, all Celtics. Scotty Lindsey dropping a 3-pointer from the corner, buries it right there. Later in the first, here comes Kamar Baldwin for the basket. Count it, and 1. Celtics up 33-24 after 1. Second quarter, more of the same. Denzel Valentine taking it coast to coast for 2. Pretty move right there. Celtics with a 58-44 lead at half. In the third, though, the Charge getting a jolt. Great passing here. Dylan Weinler with the finish underneath. And then later in the third, tied at 60. Cleveland takes its first lead of the game. Sharif Cooper knocks down a huge 3 there. Charge up 63-60. And then Windler follows up with a long 3. Charge would lead 83-69 after 3. Fourth quarter, Celtics making a run. J.D. Davis in the steal. He knocks down a corner 3. Celtics down just 6, but the Charge firing on all cylinders. Nate Hinton the follow-up slam. Cleveland hangs on for the 113-100 win, ending the Celtics season, but another great season for the fans and the players.
A lot of these guys could have gone other places, could have played bigger roles, could have asked for bigger roles, and they all bought in to try to win a championship in the G League. And you don't get that a lot of places. So it's going to be tough for me personally, not being able to coach those guys again.
All right, let's stay with some basketball now. 2 of our area's high school stars will be joining forces next season down at the University of Southern Maine. Nokomis senior Madden White and Brewers senior Brady Saunders, 2 of Class A's best ballers, have committed to play with the Huskies next season. Both players have a gold ball under their belts. White was key in his team's run in 2022, and Saunders was one of the leaders for the Witches this past winter. It was certainly fun to watch these 2 compete throughout the years against each other and against everyone else. 2 awesome kids off the court as well. Excited to see what they can do together in their careers in Gorham. Wishing them the best of luck down there. That's all the time we have for sports. Be right back after the break.
Tonight's Stock Report is brought to you by Loring Outdoors. We are looking for committed workers to build one-of-a-kind pack baskets. Head on over to loringoutdoors.com. Electrify Maine is Maine's #1 electrical contractor, providing outstanding electrical services to businesses, industries, and homes throughout the state. Electrify Maine also sells and installs heat pumps and is a licensed Generac dealer. Call us today for a free estimate.
It's time to bring balance to business travel and discover the equilibrium that works for you. At National, you're in control. Skip the counter. Choose any car in the aisle. and manage your rental right from the app. So you can mix work with leisure, or leisure with work, giving you the control to find the perfect balance. Go national. Go like a pro.
When you've experienced fire and smoke damage in your home, when pipes break and you have water everywhere, when you're concerned about your family's health because of mold, you need a friendly face to take care of it all. You need the friendly faces of Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. We're just a click or call away. Whatever life throws at you, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration is here for you. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories. We'll handle the rest.
Finding the right vehicle for you and your family can be a daunting task. At Varney Buick GMC, our expert staff is here to make the journey as painless as possible. Our goal is to get you and your family in a vehicle that will best fit into your lifestyle. Communication is key, and our team makes sure to be completely transparent throughout the process, informing you on all of your options. Come experience Varney value, only at Varney Buick GMC.
Electrify Maine is Maine's #1 electrical contractor, providing outstanding electrical services to businesses, industries, and homes throughout the state. Electrify Maine also sells and installs heat pumps and is a licensed Generac dealer. Call us today for a free estimate.
Saturdays. Baseball's best are showing out. MLB on Fox returns Saturday at 3:30 Eastern.
Finally tonight, have you ever thought it might be nice to have a 3-day weekend every weekend? Well, a 4-day work week is gaining support in several states, including California, New York, and Pennsylvania. In a recent study published by research organization Autonomy, 61 businesses participated in a 6-month-long trial implementing the 4-day work week. After the study concluded, 18 of those businesses permanently implemented the 4-day model. The study found employees benefited from a shorter work week, with workers reporting they were less stressed and had reduced levels of burnout. We asked Mainers their thoughts on a shortened work week.
Yes, because it gives more time for recreational activities and time with families and stuff.
Absolutely. That way people can make their appointments and actually attend them. Being diabetic, I have a lot of appointments.
Of course, no word on whether such a proposal is being considered anywhere here in the state of Maine, but I'm sure there are plenty of people, as we just heard, who would be open to it.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work for, us necessarily.
Right. Probably
but
wouldn't.
Probably wouldn't. But you know what? For certain professions, I could certainly see it working out, kind of distributing, who works when.
Yeah.
And I think that it does have a lot of benefits in a lot of different professions.
Far be it from us to deny.
Right.
All righty. Well, that's going to do it for us, folks. From everybody here at Fox 22, take care and have a great rest of your night.
Good night, everyone.